Alright everyone, in this video we are going to talk about the central tendency, and within the central tendency we're going to talk about two areas. One is called sample mean and the other one is going to be a median. Okay, so sample mean is simply the average. Okay, so you have all these elements within a data set. And if you want to find the sample mean, you just add them all up and divide it by the number of elements. So the formula for that is going to be the x bar. X bar simply means the sample mean, indicating sample mean, is equal to, here's the sigma, Greek letter sigma, is telling you to add them all up. Okay, so whatever the elements you have, x represents each element. You add them all up and you divide by a number of elements you have. Okay, so that's how you're going to find the sample mean. Now for the median is going to be, you are finding the middle score. So this is not actually the value that you are finding, but you are actually finding the position of the middle score. So I'm going to show you how to find these two quantity here. One is for sample mean and the other one is the median. Now, one thing that we have to be careful about using notation is that here I explicitly saying that this is a sample mean. So when we talk about the like population mean, we are using different notation. So you're going to have to be careful whether you are you are talking about sample mean. In that case, it's going to be x bar. If it's going to be population mean, it's going to be a different notation, which we'll talk about in a later video. Okay. Now for median, there can be two ways to find the median. Depends on how many elements you have. So if you have even number of elements, okay, you're going to have to go to the middle score, two middle scores, and you average them. And then if you have odd scores, then you're going to have to just select the middle score there. So I have the example of data set here. Okay. So the best way, if you have any data set like this, is the best way to rewrite them in ascending order. Okay. So that would be the most important things that you need to do here. So what we're going to do here is that we are going to rewrite this in increasing order. So that would be a 0, 1, and what else do we have? I think we have a 4. Okay, then we got 3 sevens here. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Then we have 11. Okay, we have 11. Then we got 3 12 here. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3 12 here. Then I have 1 13 there. Just going to write that. Then I don't have a 14, I don't have a 15, I don't have a 16, I don't have a 17, but I do have 18 and 19. So that's the 18 and 19. I don't have a 20, 21, 22, nope, 23 I have. And 24, 25 I have. 26, 27, 28, 29, then I have 30. Let's make sure that we have same number of elements there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13, 14, 16. I have 16 elements on the top. So let's make sure that we have the same number of elements at the bottom here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16. Okay, So this is one way, this is the most important way to, finding the mean and the median. I mean, when you find the sample mean, it doesn't make any difference, but when you find the median, it does make a difference. So you have to be careful on this, okay? So now let's find the sample mean x bar. And it's simply saying that whatever you have, all the elements, we're going to add them all up. So we're going to start adding top, all the elements, 0 plus 1 plus 4 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 11 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 13 plus 18 plus 19 plus 23 plus 25 plus 30. Okay? Alright, so once you add them all up, we're going to have to divide this by, I'm just going to go over here, and the number of elements we have. So we counted about 16 last time. Let's just check it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we're going to have to divide this by 16. Okay, so that will give us the, the sample mean. So let's just find out what this is. Then we can just move on to the finding the median. Okay, so let's say 0 plus 1 plus 4 plus, that would be 21, plus 11 plus, that would be a 36 because we got 3 12s there, and 13 plus 18 plus 19 plus 23 plus 25 plus 30. So what I have on the top, when you add them all up, I get 197. So I'm just going to write that here. Oops, 197. Then we'll have to divide it by 16. Okay, let's find out what we have here. And 197 divided by 16, I have 12.3. Okay, so the sample mean, the average, is going to be 12.3. I'm just going to make a, okay, make sure that we have everything there. Okay. Alright, so now how do we find the median then? Now we got to remember that I just told you about that we have 2 different ways of finding median. Depends on the how many elements you have in each data set here. So in this case, when you look at, we counted 16, right? So in other words, that we're going to have to go to the 2 middle scores, then we're going to have to average them. So let's find out what's the 2 middle scores in this case. So you're just going to have to count from the left, and we have to go to 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 12. Now coming from the right, you count 8 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the middle 2 score is going to be 12 and 12. So in this case, the median is going to be 12 plus 12 divided by 2. So that will be just the 12 again. Okay. Now, if this would have been the the odd number of elements, oops, then you just select the middle scores there. Now, one thing that I want to mention here is that sample mean is very sensitive to outliers. For example, if I add like 1,000, okay, let's assume that, now we want to add 1,000 here. Okay, so if I add 1,000, let me see if I can go back there, see if I can. Okay. So if I want to add 1000 there, okay, this will make a difference in the sample mean, because now I'm just going to do this problem here at the bottom here. So if I include the 1000, now the x bar is going to be, right? So now you're adding 1000 to 197. So you got 1197 divided by, now dividing by 17. Okay? So now that's going to be very big. Okay, let's divide it by 17 here. So I get about 70.4. That's huge from 12.3, isn't it? So in other words, that we call this outlier 1000 here. Okay, we call this outlier. And what the outliers do is that, it kind of pulls the average toward its value. So sample mean is going to be, average is going to be going toward the outliers here. So sample mean is very sensitive to the outliers. Okay, now let's look at the median though. So median is now, all you have to do is just add another 1000 there, right? So now we have, instead of 16 elements, now we have 17. So we're just going to have to go from 9 from the left and 9 from the right, see where we end up here, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the median didn't change, okay? So it's just going to be 12. So what does the mean is that the median, okay, is not sensitive to the outliers, very resistant to the outliers compared to the sample mean, which is very sensitive to the outliers. Okay, so these are the two ways to finding out, okay, the value of the middle for the sample mean and the position of the middle scores for the median. Now, we will talk about a couple other central tendencies here, but this is going to be our two important central tendency when you have the data set. Okay, so just remember that sample mean, you're finding average, so you add them all up and you divide it by number of elements. Median, you're finding the middle score. So if you have the odd number of scores, then you just go to the middle one, you select the middle score. If you have even number of elements, you just go to the two middle ones, then you average them. Okay? And the other thing is that if you have outliers, your sample means are very sensitive to the outliers, and the value is going to get, moving toward that outliers. Sample median, the median is very resistant to outliers. It's not going to be changed that much. Okay? All right. Thanks, and I'll see you in next video.